da da da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Zisteau.
Welcome back to the Mindcrack. Today on the Mindcrack server. I feel like sometimes I need one of those intros that you see at the beginning of television shows where it'd be like, today on Knight Rider, Kit gets in an accident and gets a new fender and paint job. No, that's... okay, but it would be more dramatic than that. Never mind. Today on the Mindcrack server, I've been hooking up the wires for the brain of the house. So let me grab just one thing real quick. I want to get a few more ender pearls because I'm going to be flying around a bit. So I've been hooking up stuff, and I wanted to sort of test the idea behind these storage columns. So I've hooked them up, and there's a few things missing in the wiring. There's some stuff up here which we'll go look at. There's a few things missing, namely the... I need to put some item filters on there so that we only get the... Well, let me come over here so you can see the item frames. I've decided to have the wheat for this one and the cow flesh for this one, but I need the filters so we don't get leather or seeds. Now, the seeds obviously need to be kept up by the wheat farm. That's the most practical thing. That's the only thing I need them for, unless I decide to breed chickens, which I wouldn't. Because, no, that's the wrong button. I meant to eat some food. Whoops. What was I saying? Oh, yes, item filters. That's one of the things missing from the system. Also, I need to set up a timer for the wheat farm. So I've hooked up this button here to the wheat farm way the heck up there. And this will turn on the wheat farm, except that it's hooked up to a T flip-flop. So this will turn the water on, and then you'll have to trigger it sometime later to turn the water off. I need to figure out a timing that is long enough for the water to be on and then have it turn off by itself. I don't really want this to be an on-off thing, at least not for these things. And this is hooked up to the cow farm. Now, the last time I tried the cows, I only got like 15 or 18 steaks or something like that. Something not too good. So I made some minor changes to the thing. We'll come up and take a look at it, and then we will we'll trigger both the wheat farm and the cow farm after I shows them to you. Let's say, hey, let's see. Okay, so here is the wiring. It's a little messy, but it's totally functional. So let's head over here. This is the storage column and also the activator for the wheat farm. So when you trigger the button down there, this piece of sand gets pushed up by a piston, which allows the redstone signal to go around here, around there, down that line. And then there is a little T flip-flop piston set up right there. And we can actually, let me see. We can actually, let me put this right here. I don't want this to, I don't want that to trigger yet. Did I just mess it up? Oh, I did. I just triggered the farm. Whoops. Darn it. Okay, well, I meant to do that on camera, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But I wanted to illustrate the T flip-flop. So when you send power to this piston, it's basically a really compact pulse limiter. And if you send a one-tick pulse to the piston, it will either leave the redstone block out there, cutting off the signal. Whoa! Oh, that's not good. Okay, stop that. What's going on? Oh, no, I think I want it actually the other way, but we've got some water overflow. I've been remodeling the way things work. Oh, thank goodness. At least it's going into there, and it shouldn't wash away any of my torches. Well, let's go take a look at the farm and see what I messed up. One of the things I did is I rerouted where the ladder is. Where is that coming from? Where did we see that? That ladder should be blocking the water from that. Oh, I see. All right, we found it. We found it. It's right there. Look at that. And the wheat did not get washed away. Okay. So I moved the ladder, and I wanted it to be more compact and within the system, and we're going to encase this whole thing in glass, like we've done with that and that. So I moved the ladder here, and I got rid of that temporary wiring. So this is the inverter that goes all the way up to the pistons. And that stupid ladder was missing. Guess we may as well go ahead and harvest those. Oh, and that doesn't need to be there. That was another thing. So before, I had a few blocks missing here. And what I was thinking of doing is having pistons retract these blocks. And then you would come in from this direction at each level. But to do that, you would need a piston here. And so it wasn't going to work the way I wanted it to. There just wasn't enough room. So I moved the ladder here. So it's quite a minimal solution. And I think eventually I will add, I'm going to add stone bricks here. So you can't even see the inverter line. Should look nice. And looks like we've got some escapees there. But it's now hooked up, and we have a lot of cows there. Now the wheat has been rerouted. There used to be like a little temporary storage right here. It now gets transferred over there. I extended that water shaft a little bit, and I have the animal noises turned down. Let me turn them back up for just a minute. You just get this. I think I have like 500 cows in here. It says 344. 345. Okay, that's not so bad. 360. I can't actually see them all at once. 380. Yeah, there's a lot. So the wheat and the seeds get not directed? Diverted. That's the word. They get diverted over there. And then they come down there. And then they get diverted again down to the storage column. Now, I also I compressed the amount of space in the cow farm because when I was doing tests, I wasn't getting very many kills. Not as many were getting pushed or falling into the hole because they tend to try to migrate to the sides. So to try to get around that, not only did I breed a hell of a lot of them so they'd be forced to to be in the middle, but I cut off the sides here a little bit so that they didn't have as far to go. And we will trigger those in just a minute now that we've looked at them. So there's the wiring for the wheat. And then the wheat and the seeds, they get routed down there, into the hopper. Storage columns set up. And then I have something quite similar with the cows. You can still trigger the cows from up top, but you can also trigger them from here. Can we actually, maybe we can go around here to see? Similar thing, when the sand block gets raised, it turns on that line, which goes up and basically triggers the same line that the button triggers, just from the other side, from behind it. And then I think I actually may have done this part last time. I don't recall. But the cows, instead of going down here to the temporary chest, they now get routed here into the storage thing. Okay, so let's come down here and we can trigger both from below. One of the only unfortunate things is it's not very visually awesome. I mean, you don't get to see a lot of the farm happening. You don't get to see the cows being murdered. Even if I turned that to glass, you wouldn't be able to see it because a lot of this is going to get kind of redesigned into the column-y structural system once we attach these columns to these floating things. Oh, and by the way, I think the way I detail these, I really like the detailing. I think we're going to do something similar with this guy, which we haven't gotten back to in a while. And I wanted to look like it's one big thing coming out of the ground and going up. So I think that'll help with that. Okay, so let's see. We're not obviously not going to get anything when we harvest it, but we can see the water though. Can we even? It's so high up there. Whoa. Well, I guess we can see it from way over here. We can just double check and confirm that it works. Okay. Wheat farm. And yeah, you can't even see it from over here. Yeah, okay. So from way over here, you can see that the water is flowing through the farm. All right. And eventually that'll get set up on a timer. And the timer probably doesn't even have to be that long because of the way that the water tends to stick around. All right, so now, now the water is evaporating or diminishing, or it's running out. And it should disappear any second now as it finally gets down to this part. This is what I'm saying, like, it may not actually take that long of a timer because we still have water in this very bottom level. Come on, disappear. Why does it still look blue? Is it just the graphics not updating? Let's go take a look. That kind of worries me. I want to make sure that it works. There wasn't anything to harvest, but that's not important. I know that the items get diverted properly. Nothing gets stuck or trapped in the water flow or anything. That all works fine. But I do want to make sure that the water turns off when I want it to. Oh, okay, now it's gone. I wonder if just the graphics weren't updating because we were so far away. All right, let's try the cows. So, right now we've got... Let's do that. Right now we have 10 stacks of beef, and I'll take those out so we can get an easier exact count. There we go. And we'll see how many we get that time. I don't plan to keep 400 cows in there all the time. But maybe I can continue to make refinements to get more bang for my buck. Whoa! Oh, that is some awesome lag. Oh, that is the game, like not being able to keep up with the cows, and like the cows are trying to walk away, and the game is like so lagged that it can't keep up with the fact that they're trapped. That was cool. All right, well, that's confirmation that they were burning. Oh, look at this. Now that's not right. Well, how did we get raw beef? But we did get 24, 25. Okay, now that is definitely more like it. Look at that. Oh, that's right. It will fill the first empty spot to the top left to the top right. And then only then will it go to the second and the third row. So even if you do this in the bottom, it actually doesn't matter. How do you get all of them? Give me all these. There we go. That. Oh, now where did they go? All right, so we got, what did I say, 10 stacks? Is that what we had? 10 stacks, so we got over a stack of beef. 90 beef exactly. That's pretty good. That's a good result. That is definitely more like it. We got some raw beef for some weird reason. But I guess that's not that big a deal. Let's go, we could probably even trigger it again since there's so many cows. It still says 384, but who knows what all I'm seeing right now. Let's trigger it once more. Thin the herd a little bit, as they say. And what I may do is I may constrain them even more so that they don't have as far to go and we get more falling into the pit. I don't want to thin them that much, though. I want to make it easy for them to... I want to keep it easy for them to die. Or, not to die. I want to keep it easy for them to be repopulated. Let's see if they explode in fire and brimstone again. I'm not seeing it this time. It must not be quite as laggy. Yeah, okay. All right. But these guys, they're functional. They definitely work, which is cool. I've had this idea in my head for a long time. It's nice to be able to finally look at it. More beef, and we get a few more raws. Looks like the raws came down first. I wonder why that happens. They must, you know what's happening? They must be dying exactly as the fire tick runs out. So the fire must be running out, and they must be getting killed by the very last fire tick. So that's probably unavoidable without me redesigning the whole thing. And I guess it's not that big a deal. It's kind of annoying. But once I get a item filter in place, we should be able to just... anything that's not beef will just separate out somewhere else. Why do I have so many things in my inventory? Oh my gosh. Now what's it look like? Oh, we still have a lot. 320, so we've killed like 60, 70 cows, something like that. All right, well, let's, I think I'm gonna trigger it a few more times just to thin them out. We still have a ton of them. You know, it'd be really awesome if I could have some kind of monitor and I could watch them being killed. Like a camera up there and the monitor down here. I could hit the button and sit in my chair and with like a cat sitting on the arm of the chair. I could cackle maniacally and watch them all burn. But now that we've got that set up, the wiring is, I would say it's mostly done except for some refinements in this little housing in here, which is going to be covered up. What I'd like to do next is to connect these columns up to our floating friends. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention, I've started to add more detailing to these guys. We now have like a bottom cap for both of them, and it's kind of... let me come over here and check our hoppers. Lovely. All right, let's do it again. More burnt cow flesh, please. Let's come down here. Yeah, so I started doing some detailing of these two guys, and I used a similar style of this so that they sort of, well, they look similar because they're the same thing. I think it looks really neat. I think it's really starting to come together, this build. The next big thing to work on is to finally finish off these columns. And now that I've kind of have the detailing of these things figured out, I think that's going to make the decisions here a little easier because I can replicate some of what I did there. So we're going to work on that next, and the columns that are little offshoots or trusses or I don't even know what, just some kind of connection to hold these things up via the columns. And after that, we'll maybe do some refinements, and then we'll be basically done with phase 1. We're getting close. We're getting close. Maybe a few more weeks. I don't even know how long it'll take. Things always take way longer than I think they will. Anyway, I guess that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your feedback in the feedback thing. Put it in the thing. All right. See you guys later. Take it easy. Bye-bye.